everyone. I thought I'd check in this week. Sorry, it's a bit echoey in the office today. I think because I've taken down lots of things I've been trying to minimalise. But anyway, it's World Breastfeeding Week, and as you know, I'm a super duper breastfeeder. I never thought I'd be continuing my journey for 5 long years. But yeah, so I still am feeding my 5-year-old and 2-year-old, although I hope to stop feeding my 5-year-old very soon as I'm exhausted. But anyway, World Breastfeeding Week. So it's organised by WABA, and their tagline is basically sustaining breastfeeding together. Now for me that's a bit airy fairy. What's it mean? It makes breastfeeding sound so complicated and out of reach, as it's all the buzzwords and whatnot. And I think that's part of the problem, although I know they need to use proper terminology and stuff when you're a big organisation. But there's so much airy fairiness around breastfeeding. There's so many photos and they all show you cradling your baby as it suckles, and you have that important eye contact and that special time. But coming out a lot lately in the media is people go, it's not like that at all. Even when they're a little wriggly baby, they're like an octopus and you have to like rugby cradle them, or they're upside down trying to feed, and then if you've got two of them, they're often fighting. They're not just stroking each other's head, and they're pulling your nipples out. So it's hard, but it's also blooming cheap. It's so much cheaper. Like, I bought formula before I had my first child because I actually thought she needed formula, and oh my days, it is so expensive. It was like 15 odd quid for a tub, and bloody hell, yeah, it's expensive. But breastfeeding's totally free. You don't need all the sterile solutions, and you don't need to bother so much with bottles and whatnot. Obviously, if you're expressing, you do. But I also think, yeah, we should promote just how cheap it is. So if you want to grab a bargain, get your boobs out and breastfeed. But saying that, we make it sound so easy, and it's not easy to breastfeed. I thought it should just come naturally. They say your baby kind of wriggles onto your boob, but for me it felt really unnatural. I'd suddenly gone from seeing my boobs as these things to have a nice cleavage, to then suddenly having this little alien crawl on him, wanting to feed and suckle. So yeah, it took me a while to get my head round it, but now it does, and has done, does feel really natural. Not always anymore when they're grabbing my top out in public. That's annoying. But yeah, I'm so used to everyone seeing everything now, I don't care anymore. But yeah, it's hard work. There's lots of sleepless nights. It's a strain on your relationships. It means that they're very, very dependent on you. There's loads of things where it is really hard, but once you get through that, I can't tell you how much it makes your life easier, makes it so, so much easier, just being able to breastfeed. And like, we all know about all the health benefits and whatnot with breastfeeding, and we know that it's good, and we know that it's the best start in life and whatnot. But what I do hate is all this best is breast, because I think by saying best is breast, can't even say it, by saying breast is best, we're putting breastfeeding on this pedestal like it's something out of reach. And yeah, you should be proud, but you should be proud just to be able to bring up a child no matter what your choices are. So I think it's wrong to say breast is best, because obviously the positivity of breastfeeding, the positive impact is amazing and natural and hard at the same time, but I don't think we should say breast is best, because it's kind of saying, but there are other alternatives if you don't make it to the best. You're kind of putting it on this podium, and then making people bad if they don't feel bad if they don't achieve it, because often I don't think breastfeeding is just the responsibility of the mother. It's the responsibility of everyone. It is such an amazing thing that can help prevent malnutrition. It can kind of cut across impoverished. I can't even talk today. It can cut across poverty. It is amazing health for you and your babies or your child. But we've got to be realistic about it, and people need support. So it's not necessarily all down on the mother whether they succeed or don't, because actually it's about the support and how as a society we view breastfeeding. I know it's got even worse now. I'm breastfeeding older kids. It's like and you do feel embarrassed, even though I've done it for so long. I still feel embarrassed in public because I can see people looking and rolling their eyes and whatnot. But at the end of the day, if my kids want that instead of sweets, well then that's a good thing to me, and it's also saving money. So I guess with this World Breastfeeding Week, that is what they're getting at with saying it's sustaining breastfeeding together. It's basically that we need all areas of society to help mothers breastfeed and women to breastfeed, because you can't just go from having such like societal like taboos and whatnot to then like I was lucky that I ended up breastfeeding because I wasn't really planning on breastfeeding that long, but again it was because I had amazing support from a midwife who was just really realistic. She was telling me how she drank alcohol and breastfed, and she was just being really down to earth, and that's what you need. I also had sorry, that was a health visitor, not midwife. And I also had in West Yorkshire, there's Little Angels, and they were brilliant. So they had a 24/7 line that you could call at any point and be like, what the hell am I doing? Am I doing this right? Da, 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 da. And they came round, they texted you, they were just brilliant. So yeah, you need support, but also society needs to change its attitudes on breastfeeding. We need to help mothers to feed. It's not all down to the mother, and I think, yeah, World Breastfeeding Week is a great time to champion breastfeeding, but it's also to say that it's not for everyone, and we shouldn't judge one another. I'm not at all from the breast garper, as people say, but yeah, we should all just support one another. Like, parenting is goddamn hard. So yeah, breastfeeding's one brilliant aspect, but oh my gosh, is it challenging. So yeah, my main thing is, let's just keep it real, and be honest about breastfeeding and have an open conversation without judging one another. But anyway, that's all from me today. I thought I'd do a little live to break things up. I hope you enjoy my videos, and feel free to follow me. I'm on all the social medias at Mama May Blog. Alright, have a good night. See you later.